The Ophaur is a truly special animal. The last vestige of a lineage that has persisted longer than any synapsid group ever has. Though it is a single species, its mere presence on this earth shows the sheer resilience of its kind. However, the odds of these beasts surviving into the present day seem almost impossible. Of course, their survival throughout the Mesozoic is reasonable enough. They hid in the shadows like mammals and fed on them too. But something just seems wrong about the survival of the KPG. It doesn't add up. Immediately before the extinction event, the only Therocephalian that was present in Africa was the Bauria, a carnivorous, venomous, rather specialized animal. After the extinction, there was a global dive for the Therocephalians. Seemingly out of nowhere, Bauria appeared in the fossil record, with all the adaptations necessary to survive the cataclysmic event. Strangely, the skull of Bauria is noticeably more basal than the Bauria, despite the skulls of Mesozoic Therocephalians showing a trend towards increasingly derived characters. The re-emergence and retention of these basal traits is how we were able to pinpoint the ancestor of the Ophaur in the first place. We have checked our fossils, analyzed bones of those species, dated them, and several postcranial features indicate that Nova Bauria evolved from the Bauria. How is this even possible? Animals can't evolve identical basal traits that have been lost for so long. It would be insanity to try and find a biological explanation for this. This is far more than just a simple atavism. But if science can't explain it, what can?
Nova Bauria, Nova Bauria, Nova Bauria, Nova Bauria.
And now that we've made it to the end, it's time to turn back the clock one last time. Give it up for Bauria, Cyanus, Delphi Bauria, and Prima Venudon, Vicoro Bauria, Nova Bauria, Nova Bauria, yeah. Arboro Bauria, Neo Bauria, Neo Bauria, Neo Bauria?
Neo Bauria, 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 Toxicodon.
600,000 years ago. Some might say that Therocephalians are worse off than they've ever been. They've been reduced to just one singular species and one singular area. But our Ophaur, the one of the name Toxicodon, is the result of combining two complementary parts. Time has passed, and now the mixture is complete. Their populations are booming, their range expanding, they're thriving. But this continent that they've called home for so long isn't enough anymore. Sometimes Ophies, baby Ophaurs, curious clumsy creatures that wander without aim, may get too close to the shore. And sometimes, whether it be due to tides or a storm, an Ophie can get pulled into the water. Surprisingly resilient little things, many of them are able to swim up to the surface, but only some of them can find something to cling on to. Luckily, this massive wood and other vegetation is large enough to comfortably hold multiple Ophies, and potentially any prey that tries to get a quick rest. Their destination? Europe. But they won't be seeing that place for a long time. But once they and many other Ophaurs set foot, they'd basically be an invasive species. They'd wreak havoc for a while, the population booming in a new area this time, but the natives found out what adapt, and eventually so did they. The Ophaurs will become a bit smaller and duller to better blend in with their environment. That's how the Eurasian Ophaur came to be. The Ophaurs of North and South America came from two separate events. North American Ophaurs came from Europe, and South American Ophaurs came from the original Ophaurs in Africa. In South America, they grew a bit smaller, but still larger than the ones in Europe, and their fur became far smoother to reduce drag when swimming. They are also the only subspecies to retain the eye markings the original Ophaurs had. The Ophaurs up north had lots of fun. They grew bigger, meaner, and more social than their European ancestors, and their fur became a rich orangey brown. Both ended up being massively successful in their new home, which is partially why the Americas hold the record for the highest amount of Ophaurs today. Ophaurs traveled to Oceania through Asia and found their own little world. Due to their nature of living on a few rather small islands, they never grew large in size of the population. Maybe if they made it to Australia, it would be a different story. And the Ophaurs that stayed in Africa became what we would recognize as the African Ophaur. The Ophaurs have done it. They've made their mark on every continent on the globe. This would be the end of our epic tale if it weren't for one particular species of primate. Modernish times. Ophaurs were elusive creatures until humans started to form cities. They thrived in man-made environments, and in the wild, many larger predators across the globe ended up being extirpated from their original range. This allowed their populations to grow to fewer limits, leading to over 20 million Ophaurs and counting. Now, they are the most numerous medium to large carnivores on the planet, They're likely the most abundant Therocephalian species that ever existed. Though they only represent a singular species, the Therocephalians are oppressed no more. Due to a combination of their abundance and being considered by many to be among the most unique animals on the planet, people have been inspired by the Ophaur in many ways. Folklore, books, memes, and baby Ophaur do 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 do, baby Ophaur do 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 do, baby Ophaur do 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 do, baby Ophaur.
Imaginary incendiary.
Ophaur, the alpha Pokemon, a psychic and poison type.
Creature powers.
Go hunt do 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 do, let's go hunt do 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 do, let's go hunt do do do, let's go hunt.
Flip flop, squiggle boom, slim slam.
Ophaur, the eternal sea Pokemon, a psychic and poison type.
Journey.
And much, much more. It's been a while, hasn't it? An incomprehensible amount of time has passed between now and the first beast heads. They started out as sprawling, sparsely furred beasts with simple minds. But look at them now. Barely recognizable on the surface, but if you look just a bit deeper, their roots will be clear. They are Therocephalians. The earth is a cruel, cruel place. Though it grants the opportunity of life, it is indifferent to it. Species, genera, families, orders, classes, phyla, even whole kingdoms can go extinct if the planet proves particularly hostile. No animal has been able to overcome it. All lineages are destined to end someday. But is it due to some inevitable fate, or the fact that no beast has tried hard enough? No beast was able to break free from the shackles that are the laws of evolution. Not ever. But in this timeline, that is far from the truth. And that alone is worth celebrating. The Ophaur is a creature of many talents, and with those talents they can do anything they can put their mind to. Though it is separated by millions of years of evolution, the Ophaur is the revival of Bauria and the rebirth of Therocephalia! The possibilities are endless. Mammals, reptiles, birds, amphibians, fish. These are the 5 commonly accepted classes of vertebrates. But there is one branch that stands alone, a unique group that's all on their own. Neither a mammal or a reptile, but something in between. Once thought elusive, now it makes quite a scene. The creatures whose ancestors fought through fire and fear, trying to survive just 1 more year. A creatures whose ancestors dealt with great oppression before they retaliated with formidable aggression. Part of a lineage revived due to an eons-old wish, they spread through the world by surviving off fish. The Therocephalians were once in a bond of being reduced to one species, the last of their kind, a lonely creature fighting an evolutionary war, a courageous creature that's fierce at its core. The last archaic synapsid. This is an Ophaur.